itself out. Hurricane conditions, storm surge conditions, those watches might be coming out within the hour, if not 10 o'clock tonight. And then the big story, I think, could end up being at the coast and inland, significant rain-induced flooding.
A slow-moving system with tropical rainfall rates would spell trouble for a lot of metro areas, including the city of Austin. And you're thinking, well, Austin's not on the coast. This storm would move inland, bring places like San Antonio, Austin, even Dallas, the potential for some heavy rain. Now, good news, in the latest run of the European model, we have backed off in a huge way on the rainfall rates. That's not to say it can't change back, but we continue to monitor trends with a forecast like we've got for Beryl. So at this point, the European model says San Antonio could see around an inch, with the heaviest stuff way off to the north and east. USGFS very similar right now, so they're coming together in line. Again, an inch or less for San Antonio, higher amounts as you get closer to and especially north and east of Austin. That's where the potential for the flooding rainfall will be. But for San Antonio, forecast is for showers and thunderstorms Monday night, Tuesday night. The persistence and the intensity and the rates will obviously be determined by the direction, the movement, the path of Beryl. Future radar. We look at this moving over the Gulf of Mexico, that northern turn, and you can see the wobbles that a lot of those forecast models are picking up on. Sunday morning, it's closing in. Late Sunday, that's when the rain really begins to intensify around parts of the coast. You can see this future radar picture now bringing it to the north of Corpus Christi. Could we be looking at a system that makes landfall closer to Houston? Some of the latest model runs say that. Again, we don't take anything as the answer right now, just looking at the overall trends. That's what's important here in the the mid-range forecast. This is something that's going to make landfall during the day, likely on Monday. So we've got some time. We're just going to be watching what the forecast models do with our trends. Victoria to Corpus Christi to Port Mansfield to Brownsville. These are areas that could see severe weather as early as Sunday. We could extend that to the north depending on the track. Flash flooding. Weather Prediction Center already concerned about the risk of flash flooding over several days. Sunday into Monday, it's South Texas. Monday into Tuesday, it's South Texas up through San Antonio and Houston. Tuesday into Wednesday, now we're looking at areas as far north as Dallas, Shreveport, and southern Arkansas. Houston over towards Baton Rouge. These will all be areas that could see the risk of flash flooding. This is the newest European model. Some of the heaviest of rain now approaching the Houston metro area, with some 3 to 5, 5 to 8, even 8+ inch totals east of Waco. Dallas area, you could escape the worst according to the European, but the GFS still paints a very soggy picture from Dallas to Waco, down closer to Austin with some 5 to 8+ inch totals there. Again, Houston area could be looking at 1 to 3 inches of rain. And when you've got so much pavement, so much development, that would be enough to lead to at least some flash flooding problems. So when we talk about these tropical systems and the inland flooding, there are things to think about. And the number one thing is not driving. Obviously, being in a car with flooding, the worst thing you can do, and too many times lives are lost because of that, whether intentionally or unintentionally driving over those flooded roadways. So you want to avoid being out on the roads, driving into any flood waters. You're going to need to test drinking water when we've got flooding. Wells have to be pumped out. Any food that comes into contact with the flood waters, get rid of it. That flood water carries everything with it, and it is dirty is an understatement. Stay away from down power lines when you've got water around too, even more dangerous. The European model now for Corpus Christi to Brownsville, lesser rainfall totals there with more. Victoria up towards Houston. USGFS very, very similar. So we've got a little bit more confidence, at least in the latest model runs. Dr. Nab, we've seen it before too. They may shift in the coming days. We've got time, but we want to monitor the trends.
Yeah, we don't know exactly where the system will come ashore. We don't know exactly what strength it will be, but we do know it's going to move slow. So Corpus Christi still heads up that you could experience something similar to, but maybe a little different from what you had from Alberto a couple of weeks ago, where you had a combination of saltwater flooding and rain-induced flooding. And there are still plenty of possible scenarios that bring the worst of both storm surge and rain-induced flooding into Corpus Christi. So we'll break that down in just a moment. And the time frame of the worst of the conditions getting to Texas, maybe starting late in the weekend, doesn't mean that we're off the hook between now and Sunday night. We already have a moderate risk of rip currents here, even in the eastern portions of the Gulf of Mexico, as Beryl starts this southerly flow and kicks waves out that are making the rip current risk dangerous, and that will only increase as the weekend goes along. So high risk of rip currents from Texas all the way to Florida throughout the weekend. We've lost too many lives in the past from rip currents in the eastern Gulf of Mexico, Florida Panhandle, for example, for tropical storms and hurricanes in the western Gulf before. So please only swim at guarded beaches, and if you see the red, especially the double red flags, don't go in the water. That's one insidious way a distant hurricane can cause lives to be lost. And this will push the Gulf of Mexico in a significant way toward the coastline as we go into Sunday and then into Monday and even Tuesday, because the latest Euro has a track forecast that's farther to the right. So that brings the middle and upper Texas coast squarely into the risk zone for potential storm surge or even hurricane conditions, along with the rain-induced flooding. But important to reemphasize that the model ensembles, there are some that are down close to Brownsville. There are some that are up close to Galveston. Everywhere in between there at risk for the direct landfall of what's probably going to be a hurricane. Could be Cat 2, can't even rule out Cat 3. So this is a hurricane watch kind of situation and a storm surge watch kind of situation. So this track within the hour is likely going to shift to the right. It's going to probably be a stronger system, and it is likely to have, if not at 4 p.m. Central, at 10 p.m. Central tonight, hurricane watches and storm surge watches coming out sometime tonight, Alex.
We've also been monitoring strong to severe thunderstorms today across the U.S., including the Atlanta metro area. Take a look at this time lapse. Oh, yeah, you're on the underside of a shelf cloud right now, and things go from day to night very quickly.
Boy, that deserves a sound effect, Alex.
Right? Because you're downtown, you're just trying to enjoy yourself, and you're like, oh, things are changing.
That really does look like an invasion.
Yeah.
Related, I watched the Independence Day movie last night.
Oh, well, that makes total sense.
It has that feel, you know, right? That rolling effect of the outflow and then the storm behind it.
You could really see what we call the whale's mouth, that turbulence underneath as this storm passes. Watch as the clouds underneath. They're truly, the atmosphere is a fluid, and you get a sense of that. I mean, look at that. That's like the undulations.
Wow.
Dr. Nab's going to get in a plane and fly up through those clouds like Independence Day. This is a live look now, so things have changed. The storm, the worst of it, is moving off towards the east, and the line has really broken up quite a bit. So we're not seeing, you know, quite as intense or impressive an outflow, quite as intense or impressive rainfall rates at this point. There is still some lightning over towards like the Stone Mountain area, and then down near the airport, we continue to watch some storms. Worst of the weather today anticipated into parts of West Virginia and Southwest Virginia. So these are the areas to watch: I-77, 64, West Virginia Turnpike, down along Interstate 81. These are the areas at risk of severe storms, and these are the areas where we've got the storms right now. Mercer and Summers County here in West Virginia under a severe thunderstorm warning. So Hinton and Matoka, you guys are under the warning. Gusty winds, very heavy rainfall rates around Route 19 and along the West Virginia Turnpike. 77 going to be an issue for you. Radford, City of, as well as Giles, Montgomery, and Pulaski counties, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning. So this is going to get us into parts of I-81. It has not been an easy drive here through Southwest Virginia along 81. McDowell, Polk, and Rutherford counties under a severe thunderstorm warning as well. Logan, Rutherfordton, and Spindale under this warning. We've got Hendersonville over here, so you're going to avoid it on I-26, but over towards Rutherfordton, Forest City, you're going to get in on the gusty winds. Jackson, Macon, and Rabun counties under a severe thunderstorm warning. This includes Cashers up in western North Carolina. And then we've got Tallulah Falls in Georgia, north of Toccoa, under a warning. Habersham, Oconee, and Rabun counties under this warning until the bottom of the hour. Flash flood warnings also an issue. They continue into Wisconsin as well.
At Doan's, we know one thing and one thing only. Backs. Strained backs from weekend chores to pulled backs doing your favorite hobbies. We even know quarterbacks. Doan's, the experts in back pain relief for more than 100 years. Available at a store near you.
We need a small business loan fast.
I got this. Loan Falcon!
To St. Jude, I'll try and shorten down the story. So, I've been having these headaches that wouldn't go away. My mom, she was just crying. What they said your son has brain cancer.
It was your worst fear coming to life.
Watching your child grow up is the dream of every parent. You can join the battle to save the lives of kids like Braden by supporting St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Families never receive a bill from St. Jude for treatment, travel, housing, or food, so they can focus on helping their child live.
What they have done for me, my son, my family. Sorry, yeah.
Life is a gift, especially for a child battling cancer. Call or go online and help save the lives of children like Braden.
Now I'm 11 years old. We were actually doing the checkup for my brain, and they saw something in my throat. It's thyroid cancer.
It was heartbreaking to find out that he has cancer again, but we knew who we had behind us. It just gives me hope.
You can make a difference. Join with your credit or debit card for only $19 a month, and we'll send you this St. Jude t-shirt.
Without St. Jude or its donors, we would have been in a bad place.
These kids, they've done nothing wrong in the world. Finding a cure for childhood cancer, it means everything.
Help St. Jude give kids with cancer a chance.
When you automate sales tax with Avalara, you don't have to worry about things like changing tax rates or filing returns.
Avalara.
To the right now. Is the GPS playing the cha-cha slide?
Geico can help when you get a flat tire with their easy app and 24/7 help.
Everybody clap your hands.
Whatever you need, from coverage to service, get more with Geico.
The power of the Weather Channel, now available to everyone. Real-time radar, and so much more. Go to streamtwc.com to start your free 7-day trial.
Hi, Grandma. I played baseball today.
Oh, that's great.
What position did you play?
First base.
That's what Grandpa used to play. When our hearing wouldn't allow us to use a regular phone, it made us feel isolated.
It became difficult to communicate with our friends and family.
Clear Captions was an easy solution for us.
Clear Captions provides captions on a phone like captioning on your TV, so you can see what the caller is saying live as they say it.
Making it easy to understand and respond immediately.
There is no insurance or Medicare required. Clear Captions service is provided at no cost to you through a federally funded program. We deliver, install, and train you on how to use your phone, all at no cost to you.
Give your loved ones the independence and connection they deserve.
Call now to see if you qualify to get a Clear Captions phone at no cost to you. Call 1-800-351-2640. That's 1-800-351-2640.
This hurricane season,
good heavens, absolute punishment.
every second counts.
You don't want to be on an interstate with heavy tropical downpours.
America's most trusted news network is putting your safety first with minute-by-minute coverage, keeping you ahead of the storm.
This is a dangerous hurricane.
Receive instant information from our team of meteorologists and landfall cams that bring you every angle on our TV app. This hurricane season, protecting America only on the Weather Channel.
Beryl is likely to be an evacuation level storm surge event for some portions of the Texas coast, at least the risk of it. So find out your evacuation zone now. Storm surge watches could be coming out tonight. Evacuation instructions could be given for your location over the weekend. And it's not just about saltwater flooding. Freshwater flooding becomes a problem for the lower and middle Texas coast on Sunday, and that will continue and move inland Monday into Tuesday. This could be a very high-end inland flood event, and some places could get a combination of freshwater and saltwater flooding. There's all kinds of possibilities of where the system could make landfall relative to the Texas coast. Anywhere from Brownsville to Galveston are landfall possibilities, but things have definitely been trending to the right. So when the new forecast comes out from the Hurricane Center within the next 40 minutes or so, it's probably shifted to the right, probably stronger, and hurricane and storm surge watches could be issued, Alex.
Conversation like right now on the floor of the Hurricane Center, Dr. Knapp?
Well, it's conversations between the Hurricane Center and the local forecast offices trying to decide where exactly what kind of watches need to be issued.
All right, we'll talk a little bit more about that coming up. I know you've got the insight, and we could see this, especially given that trend in the model runs. It doesn't take much for Texas to flood in a thunderstorm. This was the case in Houston on June 11th. Strong thunderstorms dumping about 3 inches of rain across the metro, leaving some roadways underwater, those underpasses filling up. And so more scenes like this could be on the way. And when you're talking a tropical system, it's more widespread heavy rates of rainfall. European models saying probably 2 to 3+ inches around the Houston area, 1 to 3+ inches around the Houston metro, according to the GFS model. And flooding, it's been a problem in Houston since the city was founded in 1836. But today, we've got a landscape of skyscrapers and highways and endless pavement, and it's making the flooding worse. Here's why.
Houston has a flood problem. Decades of growth and development are making it worse.
Cities like Houston that have a very large pavement footprint create a situation where it's not just putting more people in harm's way in a flood-prone landscape, it's creating more volume and velocity of water downstream because the water has nowhere to go.
Houston sits on flat ground less than 50 feet above sea level, meaning its system of bayous is slow to drain water into the Gulf of Mexico. And more building to accommodate a decade-long burst in population growth is making matters worse, especially during extreme rainfall events.
It hits the pavement or the rooftop or the roadway and then goes straight to the bayous, and along its way, it floods homes. And in our case, that could be hundreds of thousands of homes.
A recent Princeton study found that Houston's urban landscape directly contributed to the record-shattering rainfall and unprecedented flooding during Hurricane Harvey in 2017. Researchers say the city's urban sprawl made its risk for extreme flooding 21 times greater.
As Houston continues to grow, it's ever more important to start thinking about protecting open spaces, particularly spaces that contain naturally occurring wetlands. These act as natural sponges that absorb, hold, and slowly release water so that you don't get this rushing event of runoff that overwhelms the existing drainage system and ends up in people's homes.
The area is investing billions in flood control measures post-Hurricane Harvey.
Infrastructure improvements have been done and are continuing to be done. But as we all know, infrastructure can be exceeded with some of these rainfalls and rainfall rates sometimes. So even the best projects out there can sometimes be overwhelmed.
Houston, just one of the metros that could see, but given the shifts now, Houston looks in play for some heavier rain should the trends continue.
Yeah, now the scenario that the model possibilities are painting right now, the entire Texas coast is at risk for a landfall, almost essentially. And this is just one model run from the Euro, and some of the ensembles are left of this, some are to the right, but this puts a lot of us at risk at the coastline and way inland.
I mean, Dallas, the USGFS putting 3 to 5 inches over Dallas. That's going to lead to flooding. Similar to Houston, a little different, but we've got so much urban sprawl in a place like Dallas. You're going to have so much runoff. Weather Prediction Center, they're already on it.
And, you know, they smartly painted a broad brush here for Monday and for Tuesday. That's how many people are at risk. Not everybody's going to get the worst, but I think somebody will go to that level 3 out of 4 risk, or maybe the top level high risk. So this could be a high-end rain-induced flood event, and it could be a bona fide evacuation level storm surge event.
Yeah, because you said if this slows down, it's a powerful storm. We could be looking at prolonged significant surge.
In Chicago, we're known for our... Well, now on these platforms. Download now to start your free 7-day trial.
Currently in our area, 83 degrees under sunny skies. Tonight, mainly clear, low 62. West-northwest winds at 10 to 15 miles per hour, diminishing to less than 5 miles per hour. Saturday, mainly sunny, high 91. Winds southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday night, a few clouds, low 68. Winds south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Hurricane watch and storm surge watch, both in effect for a good portion of the Texas coast, all the way from the mouth of the Rio Grande up to